Hey guys, what's up? Godis here, bringing you an all-new mini-series. We are going to be covering the top 5 most fun characters to play in each role. And I've decided to break the roles up as Warrior, Support Specialist, Ranged Assassin, and Melee Assassin. So we're going to cover those 5, and we're going to talk about the 5 most fun characters to play. Now, it's important to remember these are all very subjective. This is what I find fun. We're not talking about the strongest characters or characters that are in the meta, but we're talking about most fun characters to play. To me, a fun character is a character that has good build diversity or interesting talents, is easy to pick up and play with, but hard to master. I think that's very important for a character to be fun. It helps new players get into the character, and it keeps seasoned players interested in the character. So I think that's what makes a character fun. And then we're talking about Blizzard here, guys. This is Heroes of the Storm. These are larger-than-life characters that we've all grown up with. You have Diablo. You have Krosh. You have Thrall. You have Azmodan. You have all these larger-than-life, characters that we have seen and played around or as in multiple other games. So the kit of the character, it has to fit. It's got to have a good class or character fantasy. You have to feel like you're that character when you're playing them. So that's my judging criteria for what is going to be the most fun heroes to play. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5, Merdan Bronzebeard. Merdan is super easy to play, and I can't stress that enough. He's a very intro tank. He's very forgiving. His passive restores health when not taking damage. So if you're a new player and sometimes you back out, really early, and you could restore that health, it's got a purpose. Then you could re-engage. If you play the chaos that is quick match, sometimes you don't have a healer, so you can go and get that health back quickly without having to have a healer. Maybe you don't have a healer in your lane. He's got great CC with Stormbolt and Thunderclap, which stuns and slows enemies respectively. He's got an engage or a disengage, depending on how you want to use it with Dwarf Toss. So really just a fun character to play. Additionally, he feels like a dwarf. Just the WoW dwarf that you play, he just fits that role so nicely. The talents all make sense. It's just a lot of fun to play. I can't stress that enough. I really love playing Merdan. Additionally, he also fits into most any team comp. So, very rare that a Merdan doesn't fit in. If you need a tank, maybe to add to your repertoire for Hero League, and you don't play a lot of tanks, but you want to have one in your back pocket in case you get stuck tanking, you want to be that guy that can step up and flex play for people, Merdan's a really, really fun, easy one to pick up, and nobody's going to be upset that you're playing Merdan. For a long time, before 2.0, Merdan was the meta tank. Also, heroics, you have Avatar, which just gives you a huge health pool. I think at level 10, it's 1,000 to 1,200 hit points, and then at level 20, it's almost 2,000 hit points extra that you get for running Avatar. And then you also have Haymaker, which is kind of like a point-and-click stun and knockback, and knockback is a term I use light, or doesn't really do it justice. That's what I think I'm trying to say here. It knocks them the fuck back. It is a long-range knockback. So great for either peeling for an ally that may be overextended, or punishing an enemy that overextended. You knock them back into your side of the lane, get that pick, and get that kill for your team. Talent-wise, very, very synergetic talents throughout his tree. I don't think there's anything that you could really fuck up on his build. But he's got some really cool talent synergies. One of my favorites is Thunderburn at level 4, where if you hit a hero with your Thunderclap, it strikes twice, so it goes off once and then a second time. Then you take Healing Static at 13, where anytime your Thunderclap hits a hero, it restores a percentage of your health. So your first Thunderclap hits a hero, it heals you. Second Thunderclap goes off because you have Thunderburn, and that heals you. Gives him a really good little burst of health coming in. So definitely, if you're looking for that tank to pick up, that's real easy to play, real fun. go check him out. He also has one of the best skins in the game. The Candyland Merdan is just really fun, so check it out. At number 4, we have Krosh Hellscream, the de facto warlord of the true Horde, back before they were, not all pansies, when they actually got shit done. Krosh is really a broken tank, I think. I don't know that they can ever unbreak him truly and keep him resembling what it is he's supposed to resemble. Many of you guys may know I play with my friend Hylan. I also call him Dordan. That's his other character name that he uses, so I call him Dordan a lot. Hylan is very convinced that Krosh needs to be deleted from the game. And you'll see some footage of why that is later in the list. But Krosh has probably some of the best pick potential in the game. Your E, which can pick up and throw an enemy, is really, really strong. He's got a self-heal. His passive ability gives you armor as you lose health. So as you're taking damage, you become harder to kill. It's a pretty asinine system. So the longer you stay in, the tankier you get. You have a self-heal. He's got a crazy, crazy tankiness. When you think tank, think Krosh Hellscream. So, additionally, heroics, he has Warlord's Challenge, which is an AoE taunt, very strong. He also has Decimate, gives you 3 charges of an AoE damage dealer with an 8-second cooldown. It also slows enemies at a hit, so it's great for furthering that kill secure. It's very spammy. There's only 8 seconds for the cooldown. You have 3 charges of it. And it pairs really well with its level 20 talent, which reduces damage of anybody hit by it by 20%. So you could see, aside from being tanky, you can reduce everybody's damage. Going into that, base for the build diversity, he's got a couple of different builds. I don't think the diversity is quite as potent as some of the other tanks that are on this list. In fact, I would say he probably has one of the worst build diversities of the 5 tanks that we're going to cover. But he's got some really fun talents that kind of pop into places. For example, at level 4, you could take Thirst for Battle, where your basic attacks reduce your Bloodthirst cooldown. And then you take Oppressor at 7, where you reduce spell power of anyone you hit by 40% for 2.5 seconds with a basic attack. Obviously, that's incredibly strong against any mages or talent-heavy opponents. And then you take like Blood Craze at 13, where your Bloodthirst heal gives you an additional 10% healing over 3 seconds as a hot. So really strong talent tiers. Side note, Into the Fray at level 7 is a really fun talent for saving a teammate. It is also a lot of fun for trolling your friends like Dordan. So definitely go ahead and check out Krosh Hellscream. Really broken tank. Kind of hard to master that E ability, that Wrecking Ball where you throw an opponent. But once you get that down, opponents have to respect you. They can't engage. They have to be very careful. There's really no counterplay to it. So you see him banned a lot as well. Really a fun character. Definitely worth a shot. Number 3, we have our Taunus, the Protoss. Super flexible warrior, and I use warrior kind of loosely. He's not really much of a main tank these days. Of the tanks that are on the list, I'd say he's probably got the higher skill cap to really effectively use, and he's more of a bruiser than a main tank. But he's got a lot of build diversity around him, and you can go with a build where you are more focused towards PvE, more focused towards PvP. You can go for shielding. You can go for pick potential. Really a fun set of talents to go through. He's got really flashy plays with your dash and your phase prism combo, and you'll see a lot of that. Along with, we have Dordan playing Krosh, complaining the whole time about how broken he is here in this video behind you. Just the kill secure is unreal, and you'll see it over and over and over again in this video. Obviously, it's against the AI, so it's a little exaggerated, but it's a really good kill secure. So you have Obviously, your Phase Prism with your Blade Dash, really a strong combination. You can go with like a Hyper Assassin build, where you take like Seasoned Marksman at 1 or Amateur Opponent, depending on what your map is. Follow through at 7, increases your basic attack damage after abilities. Triple Strike at 13, where your Twin Blades attacks a third time, and then you take like Titan Killer at 16, you do extra damage to heroes. Nexus Blade at 20, basic attacks deal extra damage on top of everything else you've already done, and then you slow people with them as well. You can see how that scales really fast. Probably the most unusual set of heroics on any of the tanks in this list. Both are fairly cut and dry in terms of when you're going to use one or the other. Suppression Pulse is a 50-second cooldown. Both heroics are global. It's worth mentioning. So you can cast it anywhere on the map, which is huge. Suppression Pulse, 50-second cooldown, deals damage in an area, in a very large area at that, and blinds enemies for 4 seconds. So great against melee-heavy dive teams, against Illidan's, Vala's, maybe Varians, anybody that really jumps in quick, Valeras that do a lot of melee basic attack damage. Make that distinction, basic attacks. The Suppression Pulse is probably going to be your go-to in those situations. Your alternative, maybe you're going up against a fairly mage-heavy team, a lot of ability damage where you're not going to get that use out of Suppression Pulse. Go Purifier Beam. It's an 80-second cooldown, and it fires down a beam, chases them for 8 seconds. A decent opponent can avoid it the whole time, so you may not do a lot of damage necessarily, unless you pair it with something that holds them in place, maybe like a root from Malfurion or something like that. But it does force movement out of your opponent. They can't sit still, so they have to move either away from a team fight or further into a team fight, depending on what their positioning is. If you throw it on a Brightwing, for example, who can't mount up and run away, pretty strong way to move Brightwing out of the way. So really a cool set of heroic abilities he's got there, and also really just a fun, aggressive warrior to play if you normally play a damage dealer and you want to have a tank for your back pocket. For those rainy days, you can get into him, and you're more of a bruiser off tank than ever a main tank, but you can get the job done, and you can deal a lot of freaking damage. So definitely check our Taunus out. Up next, we have the Lord of Terror. That's how it says it in Diablo. Yeah, you played the game, right? It says it weird. Hey, we got Diablo coming up here at number 2. Really a very aggressive tank with a lot of displacement and crowd control. I cannot tell you how fun it is to thrash people around with Diablo. You just feel like a bully. Your passive gives you more health the more enemies you kill, either minions or heroes, so you scale really fast. You have a very diverse talent pool. You can increase your tankiness with Soul Shield at level 1, or maybe you want to go around with like the Shadow Charge build, where you take Devastating Charge quest at 13, which is kind of a late game quest, which is risky, but it's a lot of fun. Or you can build around basic attacks. He's got Life Leech at 4, and you can kind of go in on that. He feels like Diablo. If you've played Diablo 2 or 3, he feels like Diablo. More Diablo 3 than 2. But you've got this fire wave, you've got this charge, this stun, this flip. You just thrash the shit out of people. You're just totally a bully. Heroic talents, you have Lightning Breath. Really a good zone out tool or a kill secure heroic. You basically fire at this Lightning Breath, channels for a period of time, and as it's channeling, you remain in one spot, but you can spin around, so it follows your mouse. So you can aim it and change locations and chase people with it. I don't personally care for that heroic a lot. I think APOC is better most of the time. But there might be some situations where Lightning Breath is better. Now, Apocalypse it's really tricky to learn when to use it. You might feel like you just kind of throw it out randomly against like a single opponent in a 1v1. It doesn't work that way. What it does is it's global. You just cast it and you just hit R. You don't have to click anything or do anything like that. At that moment, underneath every enemy hero, no matter where they are on the map, a big circular rune appears under their feet. And after 1.75 seconds, it blows up, it deals damage, and it stuns them for 1.75 seconds. So almost a 2-second stun. Really strong. The problem is it's very easy to avoid if you're a single person and a single enemy. The rune appears, 2 seconds, gives you plenty of time to walk out of it. When you use it is when you're in a team fight where you're fighting over an objective and everybody's kind of clumped together, and then you get this 3 times bigger, APOC on APOC on APOC stack kind of going on, and it's huge. You're going to catch somebody in it. You're not going to not catch somebody in it. Even if you catch nobody in it, it forces everybody way the fuck out of position. So, really a strong talent. Additionally, it's great with wombo combos, ETC Mosh Pit or Azaria Graviton Surge. Very easy to work around those or set the others up. So definitely give that a shot. And also, character model wise, I think it's just so fucking cool. The level of details that go into all the Diablo skins. And he has a huge character model, which makes it really easy to body block. So definitely worth a shot, worth checking out if you are looking for a kind of a bruiser, bully, yet very high health, tanky warrior. Number 1. Of course, this list would not be complete without Stitches. Now, Stitches isn't even the best tank on this list. However, he is the most fun tank to play, I think. You can't play a game of Stitches and win or lose, walk out of that game going, I didn't have a good time. He's so much fun to play. You feel like Stitches. Your moveset feels like Stitches. There's a lot of things you could do with him. For starters, he's a very aggressive style. For a tank, he's got great self-sustain and wave clear. He has Hook, which is incredibly potent. And from level 1, it forces the enemy team to really respect their distance and their dive on your team in lane. Because Stitches can grab you from damn near across the lane and pull you in. There's not much counter to it, or you're going to have to burn all your cooldowns just to get out of it, which means the other team knows you're not going to be able to do anything for the next 5 to 8 seconds, maybe. He has a great build diversity. You can go with a slam build, where you go heavy slam at 1, and you take, it's all green talents, or all green icons, is kind of how you can remember it. Putrid Ground at 4, Toxic Gas at 7, Mega Smash at 13, Pulverize at 16, and then all of a sudden you have this good kill secure wave clear Stitches. You could go all in on your Devour talent. You could increase your hook range or pull additional targets. A lot of cool things you could do. Heroic choices. He has 2 really fun heroics. You have Putrid Bile, which gives you really good zoning, and it gives him much needed mobility to get ahead of the enemy team. You can zone enemies out or in, depending on what it is you're trying to do, and it gives you an escape as well, just in the off chance you get yourself into a bad situation. You also have Gorge, which is probably one of the best kill pick secure talents in this game. You point and click, devour an enemy hero, and they're in your belly for, I think it's almost 2 seconds. You can walk around with them and then spit them out wherever. If you can get them close enough to your base, you could spit them out right behind your gate and watch your tower blow them up. It's a lot of fun to do that as well. That's it, guys. That is my top 5 most fun tanks to play. I hope you really enjoyed this list. If you disagree, and I'm sure some of you guys will, definitely let me know down in the comment. I'll give you guys a heads up now. Honorable mentions to ETC and Arthas. Both really check a lot of the boxes, but not as well as some of the other characters that we talked about today, but they were on the short list as well. Next is going to be top 5 most fun support, so be on the lookout for that video. As always, if you like the content, please feel free to give me a subscribe. You'll be able to know when I post more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy.